Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on my YouTube channel. Tonight's presentation is part 4 of Living in a Creative Structure, and it's called Conditioning the Unconscious. Part 1 through 3, if you have not already seen it, please take a look right below. I have done presentations every week, and you'll be able to watch those presentations to follow along a little bit better with this one. So tonight's presentation, Conditioning the Unconscious, is something that's really important because if you are someone that follows the law of attraction or are looking to create some better things in your life or looking to get into the flow, one of the things that you really need to understand is your unconscious and how it works. The law of attraction is an idea that is incomplete simply because the unconscious is an aspect that they typically leave out whenever they're letting you know how to use the law of attraction. A lot of times the resources tell you to do meditation or affirmations or mantras. And while all of that is good and well, things that you can do to help you move forward, it is more like a half truth. It's not all that's existing there. And you've got to be able to understand how the unconscious plays a role in all of it because the unconscious only desire to keep you safe. And what does that mean? Well, it means that if you've never experienced anything, you might die. And the unconscious will do everything that it can to sabotage you from ever creating it exactly the way you desire. And it actually creates a lot of struggle on the way to it to get you to want to quit. And it can be the most frustrating thing in the world when you are advancing, let's say, a few steps ahead, and then you get thrown 10 steps backward. And sometimes people think it's them. And I've got news for you. It is not you. No one is broken. Success is not personal, it is structural. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started with the presentation. And this is brought to you on behalf of the Magical Mind presentation. And this is part 4, Conditioning the Unconscious. So I have some questions for you. Have you ever been frustrated with challenges that never seem to end? Maybe you go forward 2 or 3 spaces and then you get far back, or maybe you solve a challenge and then you just got another one that pops right up. Have you ever wished things could be different in your life? Have you ever wished you had more money in your bank account? Have you ever wished you had a loving relationship? Are you single and desiring another relationship? Have you ever meditated daily, written hundreds of affirmations, practiced gratitude, thought positively positive thought, and wondered why you still do not have what you desire? Have you ever thought that it must be you and decided that the card that you've been given is that's just the card you've been dealt in life, and then you just give up? You decide it's not for you. Have you ever thought any of those things? And if you have likely been misled. You are not broken. You are not broken. Even if you think you are not broken. You are, however, a powerful creator of everything in your reality. So if you think you're broken, you're not broken. You just created it. So you've got to create a space differently. And before we go further, I like to talk about these in every presentation I deliver because consciousness is something that we really need to understand. And it's something very simple. It's just awareness. That's it. But are you really aware of what you're focused on? Are you really aware of what you're being aware of? Kind of a cut 22 there. Because sometimes what we believe we're focused on, we're really not focused on. We're focused on something else. What are you focused on? Most of us are not focused on what we think we're focused on. Consciously, you can be focused, but where did the decision to focus on that come from? 99% of the time, it came from a problem that you are trying to solve. So, for example, if you're single, you decide you want a relationship. All of the power is in the fact that you're single and you're trying to get a relationship. So even if you did affirmation, even if you did positive thinking and put yourself in there that you have a relationship, you're still focused on the fact that you don't have the relationship and you're trying to create it. Your focus is there on the fact that you don't have it. It's a problem. You will eventually find yourself right back to where you started. This is the reason why, if you are single and you're dating, this is why some of the dates won't work out. This is why you date and you date and you date until you finally decide, you know what, it's just not for me. And I'm just meant to be alone. Perhaps you've been married before and you married and you tried to make it work and it just doesn't work and you're divorced. And then you decide to date again and you just can't find that one person that you click with. And there's a reason for that. You are not broken. The reason is you are focused on the problem. You are focused on the fact that you're single. Even if you are saying the affirmation and you're focusing on that affirmation of, I have a loving, relationship. You're saying that you have a loving relationship because you are single. You're still focused on the lack. This is what the law of attraction is really responding to. It's responding to the vibration that you're holding, which is, I don't have the partner that I want. I am single. Or I don't have the money that I want. So I'm going to go and do this. That is what your focus really is. Your focus is not on what you're trying to do. Your focus is on the reason why you're trying to do it. And it's very important because it's a very subtle distinction. And this is what makes the law of attraction an idea that is incomplete. There are three aspects of consciousness. The first aspect is your superconscious, and your superconscious is there just for the experience. This is your God self. This is your higher self. This is the one that just basically wants to experience everything. It doesn't care what it experiences. It doesn't care about pain or happiness or excitement, joy, shame, all of those lower level emotions or higher emotions. It's just happy to be here, period. It just wants to experience it no matter what. And this is where free will comes in. We have the free will to choose whatever it is that we want to do, and the superconscious is okay with all of it. Then you have your ego, and the ego is your conscious self. So the ego is the one that's thinking. It's the one you wake up in the morning and you have those thoughts ruminating in your head. It's the one that's talking to you all day long. It's the one telling you how to do things. The ego is very concerned with the quality of life. We all want to live a very good life. We all want to have more money. We all want to have a better partner. We all want to have, better lives, better family, whatever it is. The quality of life is what the ego is concerned about. Then you have your unconscious, the third aspect. And the unconscious is dealing with the quantity of life. And what that means is it wants to live as long as it can. The unconscious part of our brain was created way back when in creation, when humanity first started, when we had to deal with the cavemen and the tiger, the saber-toothed tiger. And the unconscious was created to keep us safe, where we had to fight or flight or do those decisions to make sure we stay alive. And over time, we have evolved, but the unconscious has stayed the same. The unconscious only job is to keep us safe. And anytime it feels threatened, it will put up all kinds of emotions and all kinds of things to make you make a different decision because it is scared. So as we go through the thing, the self-conscious, again, is a thinking rational part of the ego. Superconscious, infinite intelligence, it experiences everything. It's just happy to have the experience, however it is, with no judgment. And then the unconscious is the one that I really want you to understand, because this is the part about this based in feeling. And the feeling can confuse us. We want to feel happy. We want to feel these higher emotions. And a lot of times our decisions are based on the fact that we're aware of how we feel and we want to change it. And that particular action or that particular decision is called a problem structure, because you are aware of how you feel and you want something different. And it's very important to understand that the unconscious is only giving you these feelings because it is scared of something. Or even when it's okay with something, it'll give you the other feeling of happiness or whatever that is, and you might accept that one. But then when we feel bad, we don't necessarily accept it. We want to change it. And that's the part where the people do not understand. The law of attraction is activating, and it is answering those feelings that you are paying attention to. So if you're not feeling well, or if you're feeling a lower emotion and you're trying to change it, the law of attraction is giving you more of what you don't want, because that is your focus. You're focusing on what you don't want, trying to change it, the problem structure. The unconscious has an agenda. And as I said earlier, it was created just to keep us safe. They want to stay alive. That's its only mission, is to stay alive. And if there's something that you haven't done before, it doesn't know that you can survive it. Anything new we wish to create or experience is a threat to the unconscious. When the unconscious is threatened, we feel it as resistance. It doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to move forward. We might feel it as maybe we start sweating. Maybe we have a heartbeat start beating a lot faster. Maybe we start getting other kinds of symptoms in our body. fatigue, shame, anger, guilt, all of those lower emotions start popping up, and it confuses our mind, and we don't like to feel that way. We want to change it. During both the 4 years of age, everything we experience is coded up as survivable. Everything. So if you really think about this, if you grew up in a family with scarcity, you unconsciously believe that you can survive scarcity. So then when you get to be an adult, the unconscious only wants to experience scarcity because you've survived it. Even though it's very unpleasant, it doesn't care. You've survived it. You have never survived having abundance, so you can't have abundance. You can only have scarcity. The unconscious wants more of whatever it is that you've survived. If you've survived trauma, it wants more of it. This would be the reason if you've had multiple relationships and you keep having abusive partners. The reason why is because you survived the first abusive partner, and the unconscious wants to attract more of that because it knows it can survive it. So unless you are aware of this tactic that the unconscious is using, you will always get into that cycle and you will keep repeating the same. If you experience scarcity, you will be challenged with creating abundance as an adult. If you survive abuse as a child, you will be challenged with creating love. If you grew up around shame or guilt, you'll be challenged with creating worthiness of being enough. If you grew up with the belief that you must work hard work, then this will be your experience as well. Again, the unconscious only wants to create what it deems safe. It wants to stay the same. It does not want to change. It does not want to go into something new. And the ego or our conscious mind wants to create a better life or a better future or want to do something differently, which is creating a battle with the unconscious. This is the discord that you feel inside of your body, with the two of them are just arguing with each other. And you want to go this way, but it doesn't feel good to go that way, and you start getting down. You have practiced all of your thoughts up until now. And if you guys already know, the law of attraction is based on practice thinking. It's your vibration. You have a vibration already that you're vibrating now. And the vibration is determined by the thought you think. And you have been thinking thought ever since you learned how to think. From 0 to 4 years old, when the unconscious came online, you started repeating those same thoughts. And that's what a belief is. A belief is nothing more than thoughts you keep thinking. It's the same patterns of thought. So you have a belief that creates the experience. And then when you experience it, it reinforces the belief that created the experience. And then you start experiencing it again. The unconscious has allowed into your experience what it deems safe. It wants you to stay the same. When you get close to a goal, for example, it will hijack the experience via self-sabotage. It might let you get closer and closer, and it might say, all right, you can get a little close, and then, whoa, we're getting too close there for comfort. We got to snap it back. And it could be any kind of situation. You know, maybe there, if it's with money, maybe you have some debt coming in. Maybe you have insurance that you got to pay out. Maybe you lose a job. Maybe you, whatever it is, the situation that will get self-sabotage that's created by your unconscious. And at the time, you might think they're a good decision until they're not. Unless you change your structure, you are destined to repeat all of this an infinite number of ways. So you will go into old age, going into these unconscious patterns, creating all of these things, some good, some not so good, some, different situations, however you want to judge the situation. But you're not going to necessarily get the pure satisfaction of what you're looking for. You won't get there because your unconscious will not let you get there. No matter how many affirmations you do, or how many chant, or how many hours you meditate, you can become a monk. It doesn't matter. You will never get what it is that you want because the unconscious does not feel safe. And this brings in one of my favorite quotes that really resonated with me the other day, because I realized just exactly what it means. Because if the unconscious wants to stay the same, but then we want to keep changing, and we keep noticing what the unconscious is, and we want to change it, And we not, it doesn't work because every time you want to change it, your focus is on what the unconscious is focused on, which is what the law of attraction is answering to. So this brings truth to this statement where insanity, you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So we're basically going around and round and round in circles, creating the same experiences just in different ways. They're colored differently and we think they're different, but they feel the same. We're not satisfied. We're not exactly where we want to be. The unconscious cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is physical. This is a very important concept that we need to understand because the imagination is one of the most powerful things in the universe. Everything in the universe is created twice. Once in the invisible, the imagination, and then in the physical. Emotion is what trains the unconscious mind. This is what I call the gas pedal for the law of attraction. You must feel the emotion. So when you're trying to create something, your body is resonating with the lack while you're trying to create something new. You've got to do it backwards. You've got to get yourself into the future end result of what it is you're trying to create. Generate that emotion of what it would feel like when you're in that end result. Then you're giving the law of attraction momentum toward what it is you're trying to create, of what it is you're trying to create instead of something you don't want. But in order to do this, you must first make peace with where you are right now. You must first be okay with however the reality is in the moment. You have to stop thinking about changing it because there's nothing to change. You're not trying to change anything. There's nothing better. There's nothing worse. It's just different. You're trying a different flavor of food. So let's say you're single. You're happy with it being single. You've done it this long. Now you prefer something different. That doesn't mean that it's better to have another partner because, when you do have a partner, that's a whole nother set of challenges. Sometimes being single is actually nice. You get the freedom of being yourself to do whatever you want without having to worry about another partner. But then again, when you have a partner, sometimes that connectiveness beats being single because when you're single, you don't really have that human connection. So there are different flavors to experiences that you would want to have. But it doesn't mean that it's better. It just means it's a preference. It just means that, okay, I want to try this. So you have to make peace with where you are. And you've got to change the practice emotion that you already have. Because when you're trying to change something, you're in a practice emotion already. And usually it's discord, it's lack. I don't like where I am, and I prefer to be over here. You've got to make peace with where you are. I'm okay with being here. This has been an experience. I understand. However this experience is, I would like to try something different. So then what you do is you get into the end result of what it is you wish to create, and you conjure the emotion of what it feels like to already have it. And when you're in that state, this is where you're training the unconscious that it's okay to have it. It's okay to have a loving partner. You're creating it exactly how you want it. You're in the end result. So if you want a partner, you are creating that moment where you already have the partner. You're already in love with each other. You're already having a conversation that you want to have. You're holding hands. You're being romantic. Or if it's money, you have all the money that you could desire in your bank account. How would that feel? What is the emotion that you'd be experiencing if you had all the money that you could ever need? How would that feel? What would be the emotion that you're experiencing at that moment? And once you put your body into that feeling, into that emotion that's there, then you're telling the unconscious that it's okay to have whatever it is you desire. And your unconscious starts to say, okay, I can understand this. And then it gets easier and the momentum starts picking up. And then the law of attraction starts working in your favor. And you won't get the snapback. You won't have to go backwards and get started or date 100 times or get the empty bank account and get that experience over and over again. Your energy must be in alignment with the future that had your desire. It's an alignment. You must train your body to have it all now in this moment. And yes, you can have it now. You can have everything absolutely right here, right now, in this moment. If you want a Ferrari, you can have a Ferrari right now. And a lot of people might say, what do you mean, Nicole? I can't have it right now. It's not in my driveway. Well, absolutely, you can have it right now because, as I said earlier, everything in the universe is created twice. First in the invisible, always. It's first in the imagination. Then once it's in your imagination, then it becomes available in the visible or the physical reality. But it has to be created in the invisible. So if you keep telling yourself, I can't have that Ferrari right now, it's not in my driveway. That's the reality you're creating. In the invisible, you do not have it in your driveway. So it will never show up. And it's the same thing with being single. I can't have it right now. I'm alone, Nicole. I don't have a relationship. But you do have a relationship. You have a relationship with yourself. Might not be the relationship you're really wanting, but you do have a relationship and you can create something different. So in the invisible, instead of telling yourself that you're single, in the invisible, you tell yourself, I have a wonderful, loving relationship. And you create it. You imagine how you want it to be. The key and the trick is to learn to live from that space. Once you've created it, once you've gone into the end result, and you have created in your imagination that Ferrari or the big house you want to live in or the lover that you want to have or all the money in your bank account. Once you live that in your imagination, your body is going to resonate with that vibration, regardless of what it sees outside, regardless of what you see, hear, taste, smell, or touch in the physical reality. Your body will resonate with the invisible because that's the strongest energy. The law of attraction will start adding to it. You will get ideas. You will start meeting people, synchronicity that will line up to create that manifestation that you are wanting to create instead of what it is that you don't want to create. This is a really important thing to remember. The only reason to ever want anything or to choose anything is just because you love it. No other reason, just because I love it. Nicole, why are you doing all these videos for the magical mind? Why are you doing these workings? You don't need to. You have plenty of money in the bank. Well, I do it because I love it. I love to share this information. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel joyful. Or why do you why do you want a husband? Why do you want that? Well, I just love it. I would love to have a husband. I would love to know how it feels. Or let's just say that you want to have a lot of money in the bank. Why would you want to have a lot of money in the bank? If it's for any other reason than because you love it, it will never get manifested. Love is the only thing that it is in the universe. And when you love something and you really, really love it in your heart, that's when things line up. The alignment starts happening and the magic starts happening. You must be in a state of complete satisfaction with your current reality. If you're not satisfied with the current reality, you are in a problem statement. And if you are in a problem statement, you're doing nothing but creating more problems. A solution is nothing more than a feel-good path temporarily to the next problem. We do not want to be in the problem structure. We do not want to focus on solution. What we want to focus on is what we love. What we love to create. And once you find what you love to create, our mind only thinks one thought at a time. And if you're busy thinking about what it is you do want, you don't have time to think about what you don't want. And one really key component here to understand, you must be it to see it. This is what it means to create it in the invisible first. You must see it to be it. You must create it in the invisible for it to be visible in the manifested world. If you want abundance, you have to be abundant. If you want love, you have to be love. Everything is always created twice. This is the most important thing to remember. The law of attraction is working on the invisible always. It's working on the energy. You must find the magical moment. You must find that sweet spot, the emotion of what you wish to feel. and you carry that emotion for the rest of the day. Now, there are going to be some situations that might knock you out of alignment, might knock you out of the emotion, but how quickly can you get back in? It's not about, staying in that emotion 24/7 and living up in cloud nine. That's not what this is about. This is about managing your emotion to the point where you are always thinking about what it is that you do want. And if you see something you don't want, that's okay. Train your focus to go back to what you do want. Train your unconscious that it's okay to create. It's okay to put our attention on what it is that we love. There is no reason why you cannot have it all now. The unconscious cannot tell the difference between invisible and visible. It feels the same. The magical moment is when you can have everything you desire right here, right now. You conjure up the emotion in your mind, what it feels like to have that Ferrari in your driveway. What does it feel like to have that lover? That bank account full of money? What is the emotion? What is the emotion that you're feeling? And you have to really get into it and really feel it. The magical moment when you have become the person who is at 100% in alignment with your desire. 100% in alignment. You see it, you feel it, it's there, the emotion is there, it's in your focus, you're creating it. You can absolutely be happy now, fully satisfied in life, regardless of the external circumstances, regardless. And you can still be inspired to create more. In part 3 of these 5-part series presentations that I delivered a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about the core 4 choices. And in order for this creative process to truly work, you've got to make sure that your body is oriented with these core 4 choices. And if you haven't already seen it, I invite you to go back and watch part 3 so you can get more information on exactly what these core 4 choices are and a little bit more information around them. So the 4 core choices: living a life I love, living my true nature and purpose, being the predominant creative force in my life, and being healthy and vital. All of those choices, you choose those core 4 choices every single day, and you live by the core 4, and the rest just falls into place. You can really create and tune and fine-tune the desire that you want. Life truly becomes fun. Once you get these core 4 choices and you orient your body to these core 4, when you're loving the life that you live, because you choose to, when you're living your true nature and you have purpose because you choose to have purpose. You choose to be the predominant creative force. Instead of living by ego, you're living in spirit. And of course, you choose to be healthy and vital because without a healthy body, you can't have much energy to do anything. And so what you do is you pick one of the core 4 and you work on them every day until you start building yourself. And you can create your own system of how you want to do it. Some people like to do one choice every week. They choose a different choice. So there's 4 weeks in a month. So you rotate the 4 choices until you start to become acclimated to them. And it does take a little bit of time, but once you get started and you keep going and you stay consistent, your life dramatically changes. How bad do you want it? So now we're going to go through a real quick visualization exercise. And I would like for you to get comfortable in your chair or in a couch or wherever you are. And as you get comfortable, you can choose to close your eyes or you can choose to keep them open, whatever's comfortable for you. And I want you to pick one of the core 4. So either living the life I love, predominant creator, health and vitality, or living your true nature and purpose. And choose one of the 4 that we will work on today. And for the purpose of this presentation, I will choose living a life I love. And want you to close your eyes or keep them open. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're breathing out, I want you to set the intention that you're going to completely relax. Set the intention that you're going to completely relax the body. And I want you to focus on your breath. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to think. Just focus on your breath. Breathing in and out. And there's nothing to do with your breath. Just focus on it. Really observe the breath as it goes in. Observe it going through your body. And as you breathe out, I want you to turn your attention to your body. Focus on different areas of your body. And just relax. And as you're relaxing, I want you to bring up the choice that you've chosen. Living the life I love. Step into the end result of a life that you really love. Really get into an experience. Find a moment or two in the future where you're experiencing the end result of living the life you love. Imagine, what would it be like? What would you get up and do if you were living the life you love? Who would you speak to? Who would be around you? And as you're living this future moment, how does it feel? What emotions are you experiencing? What emotions are bubbling up inside? You're already living the life you love. You absolutely love it. Think about the thought that you would be thinking. What kind of thoughts are you thinking? You're living the life you love. What people are around you? Are you inside? Are you outside? Now, as you're in this experience, I want you to consciously choose this experience. I want you to say to yourself, either out loud or to yourself, I choose the end result of living the life I love. I choose the end result of living the life I love. Now I want you to really feel it, really get into that emotion and choose it with all of your heart and soul. I choose to live the life I love. Really feel that emotion in your body. Now take a big deep breath and breathe it all in. And when you're ready, open your eyes. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a wonderful visualization exercise that I use on a daily basis to get my body really into the experience of living whatever the choices that I've chosen. And you can replace that living a life I love with any of the core four choices that I mentioned earlier and do the same exercise. And once you condition your body to do these things, you will truly be the predominant creator of your life instead of the predominant disintegrator in ego. I really hope that you've enjoyed this presentation tonight. Please, if you haven't already, I would love for you to join me on Wednesday's meetup at 7 p.m. next Wednesday. It is held live, where you'll be able to interact with me and ask any questions. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that as well. I'd be most honored if you can do that for me. And you also can reach me via email if you would like to reach out to me directly at nicole@attractinggrace.com. Thank you again, everyone, for attending tonight's presentation. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. It's an honor. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.